The affordable makeup and skincare market is absolutely crushing it at the moment. In my previous video, I spoke about a few products that I thought were absolutely superb as I applied them to my skin. In this video, we're talking about more products that have a very small price tag, but feel and look super luxurious. In the last video, I spoke about these 12 pan palettes from Morphe. Absolutely stunning shadows, lots of choice, lots of different looks to create. I have the shades Moonstone and Flickering Sands. My favorite is Flickering Sands, but you know, everybody is completely different. Not here to discuss these again in depth. I am going to be talking about these 6 pan palettes from Morphe, which are absolutely divine. These are something else, something super, super special, especially the middle shadows. The middle shadows are glittery, they are sparkly, and yet they're not too much, in my opinion. I mean, they may be too much for some people, but they're definitely not too much for me. I have these on my lids today and I've sort of mixed and matched. This is more of a cool tone palette, the shade Rich Glitch. It's gonna suit so many people. It's gonna suit every single occasion. My favorite though is the more neutral, more dominant, warm palette, which is Outer Spice. It's just more my vibe, and I have this shade and this shade mixed on my lids today, and just so beautiful. These are so soft. The mattes are very easy to blend out, extremely beginner friendly, and the glitters, you have to be careful with them. I do like to apply them with my fingertip. If you apply them with a brush, they do tend to flake off a little bit. I do think the warmth of your finger really helps them adhere to the lid, but once they're on, I don't get fallout over my cheeks as the day progresses. So if that is your worry, I don't think you have anything to worry about here. Absolutely love the shade selection. I mean, there is something for everyone here. I just think they are glorious. I did say in the last video that I may have a new lip product to share with you. It just depends how it wears on my lips throughout the day and whether it is good enough to feature in one of these videos. Well, I have news for you. It most definitely is. This is the Lip Shift Ink Peel Off Liner from Revolution. Now, I haven't actually tried this shade, which is why it is still in the box. The shade that I have been wearing is the shade Rose Inked, and it is stunning. It's really easy to apply. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Sashu lip liner stains, which have just been going viral absolutely everywhere. So let's talk about the pros and the cons, or the differences and the similarities. So the applicators are completely different. On the Sashu lip stain, we have quite a chunky applicator, and it is quite flexible, but not massively flexible. So you are going to get precision with a little bit of bounce. The difference with the Revolution Lip Shift Ink, it is much thinner applicator. It is very precise, it is pointy. There is a lot more give in this product than in the Sashu, so it is slightly bendier because it is thinner on the end. Again, if you would prefer that, go for the Revolution over the Sashu. The really good thing about the Revolution is you don't have to leave it on for 15 minutes. You leave it on until it's hardened, until it really wants to come off, and it will tell you as soon as you press your lips together, if it starts to peel off, it's ready to peel off, and it lasts all day. Whereas I think that the stain that you get from the Sashu lip liners, unless you leave it on for a full 15 minutes, is a little greyy. It's a little bluey toned, whereas the lip shift inks from Revolution are true to shade literally as soon as they've dried down, and they last as long. So again, depends on what you want from a lip stain. I love both of these. I think they are superb. They both last for the same amount of time, but it's just a bit of a quicker process for the Revolution, so that gets my vote. I can't have a video like this without talking about the Lumiglotion from L'Oreal. I love the Lumiglotion. I've spoken about it so many times. I think it's luxurious. I think the sheen on the surface of the skin is incredibly flattering without highlighting every single little bit of texture that I feel that I have on my face, which is a lot. This is really blurring and yet gives me life back to my skin. You can apply this underneath makeup, over the top of makeup. You can apply it within your foundation to give it that little bit of extra. I used to use, and I will go back to using, the light glow version. This is the medium glow 903 because my skin is a lot darker at the moment as I've just got back from my holidays, and this is perfection on me. The fantastic thing about the medium glow 903 is it's not overly warm, so it does have a pinky undertone to it. So although it's deeper than the light, it's not going to send you orange. If you just have a look at that on the back of my hand, you will see it's got a really nice pinky tone to it, and it just gives you a gorgeous glow. I mean, oh, stunning. Beauty of Joseon brought out a new tinted SPF. This is the Daily Tinted Fluid Sunscreen. It has an SPF of 30 in here with a PA rating of +++. It is beautiful. I didn't think I was going to like this when I first applied it because it does have quite an oily consistency. This is a mineral sunscreen, so when I looked at the ingredients after application, I thought actually this is a really good thing that this has an oily consistency because most mineral sunscreens really dry out my skin. This one definitely does not do that. It has zinc oxide in here for the SPF protection, and as soon as it hits the skin, it starts to dry down. So although it's incredibly oily at first, and I thought this is going to be way too much for me, this is just going to end up in my lap, it does dry down, it does start to mattify. It doesn't mattify fully, you are still going to get a little bit of a sheen on the surface of the skin. But although it still has a tiny bit of oily residue on the surface of the skin, it's totally manageable for me. It just feels like I've applied a really nice hydrating and nourishing moisturizer before I apply my makeup. So perfect prep for makeup. Makeup glides effortlessly over the top of this. There's no pilling, there's no patchiness. I think at the moment I could do with a deep shade, but overall, absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, would recommend. New from L'Oreal, and I'm not gonna lie, this has completely blown me away. It is a superb product, and I've no idea how they managed to sell this for the price that they've actually marketed it at. This is the Revital Lift Eye Bag Instant Eraser, and I get questions all the time, especially when I do videos regarding covering up dark circles. People say, well, I don't really have dark circles, but I do have really puffy eye bags underneath my eyes. How do I cover those? Very, very difficult with makeup because you can disguise them, but you can't cover them over because the skin and the puffiness is still going to be there. So depending on what light you're in, depends on how that shows up to anybody that's looking at you. This is now the solution. It is so good. It really is. And although it says it works in 15 minutes, I think this works a lot quicker. I wish I had a video to share with you. Hopefully Louisa will be able to find one and add it into this video that's worked on somebody else. I don't really have eye bags to test this on, but I did apply this and it did make a difference to my under eyes with zero puffiness. My eyes felt tighter, more sculpted, more lifted, more shaped. I felt more awake. It was fantastic. If you don't wear a lot of makeup underneath your eyes, you may absolutely love this. If you do wear a lot of makeup, on day one that I wore this, my concealer and my foundation really grabbed to the powdery residue that was left on the surface of my skin, and my concealer went a little patchy and looked a little heavy. On day two, I applied my concealer slightly differently. I didn't use my fingers, I didn't use a lot of product, I used a stippling brush and very, very lightly, so not to disturb the powdery residue, I tapped that in place, and this wore beautifully all day. Now, you are going to get prolonged benefits from this. It's not going to get rid of your eye bags and then within the space of 15 minutes they're all going to be back again. This will last up to 8 hours, so hopefully a full day for you, and you can apply this over the top of your makeup as the day goes on if you want a little bit of added benefit, a little bit of a touch up. So if you have those eye bags, this is definitely worth a try, because I mean, it worked on my under eyes, and I don't even have eye bags, but it worked on those. The Ordinary have introduced a new spot treatment. It is unique, it is innovative, and I absolutely love it. This is the Ordinary's Sulfur 10% Powder to Cream Concentrate. This was only released on the 5th of August, and apparently the concentration of this is the equivalent of over 150 pimple patches. Now, I don't know if that is the case. I don't know if that is true. I trust The Ordinary that that is the case. However, I can testify this stuff works, and it works within the hour. If you notice on my Get Ready With Me, I have a couple of really angry blemishes underneath my chin. Can you see them now? I have used makeup, but I haven't used masses of makeup today, and they look non-existent. Absolutely non-existent because of this formula. It is such a great texture. This is actually a powder to cream formula, and you don't have to add water to it, so you can use it on the go. Now, I love a good pimple patch, but unlike Gen Z, is it Gen? I don't know. Unlike my kids, I don't feel comfortable going out and about with a pimple patch on my face. I wear them about the house, but I don't go out in them. I just feel rather self-conscious. I no longer have to worry about that, because all you need to do is pop a little bit of the powder in a clean hand, use a clean finger to massage it into the blemish, the spot, the pimple, whatever you want to call it. And within the hour, that blemish, that spot, that pimple looks less red, less angry. It's much more calmed. This is colloidal sulfur, and it's at very high concentration. It's very, very small molecular structure, means that it sinks into the skin really beautifully, and it takes away a little bit of that sulfur smell, so it doesn't smell eggy at all. New product alert, and this one surprised me quite significantly, actually. Normally I am not into a moussey consistency for any foundation, any skin tint, any face product, any lip product, any eye product. It's just not for me. It ends up really congealed. It just doesn't blend out very nice. Totally wrong where these products are concerned. They're from a company called Flaky, and you can now get these in selected boots, which I find incredibly exciting news, because you can test these and the colours before you buy. These are the blurring pudding pots from Flaky, and they are a moussey blush. I have them in several different shades, but these ones are my favourite. So from top to bottom, we have 17 without, and my, look how beautiful these are. This is one swipe. You do have to be quite gentle. So these have a lovely consistency. It's a little bit like a trampoline. They're very, very bouncy. So apply a little bit to your finger. And when I say a little bit, I do mean a little bit, because they are punchy on the pigment. This is the shade 17. And then just apply it to the back of your hand to have a look at the texture of this and how it blends out before you go into the cheek. Now, I like to dip a very small brush in this, but I tap off the excess on the back of my hand before I go into the cheek. These blend out superbly and they give a lovely matte finish, a very natural matte finish. These are blurring, these are airbrushing. If you have any texture on your cheeks like me, you are going to love these because, I mean, texture be gone. This is like adding powder to the cheek without adding powder to the cheek. There's no powdery residue. In fact, there's no residue at all. It just looks beautiful. The amount of product that you get for your money in here is sensational. These are going to last you for a really long time. If you're not into matte blushes on your cheeks, if you're wanting a little bit of a dewy glow like I have on my cheeks today, this new blush from Revolution is gonna be right up your street. This is the Super Dewy Blush Burst. I really, really like this. I have it on today. It is very easy to apply. As per usual, I do like to apply this on the back of my hand and then go in with a brush. But this isn't overly punchy on the pigment, so if you wanted to, you could apply this directly to the cheeks without any issues whatsoever. It blends like a dream. It looks really flattering on my cheek. This actually reminds me of the Huda Beauty, I can't remember what it's called. I'll put a picture of it over here for you. It reminds me of that, and I loved that. One of my favourite blushes of the year when it was released, and this is up there with it. I've been asked a few times by a couple of my lovely subscribers to review this particular product, and a couple of weeks ago I started to use it. Now, 2 weeks is not enough time to form a formal opinion on this product, but I do have some insights into it that I want to share with you. One, it is a lovely product. Two, I've seen an increase in the hydration in my skin since using it. And three, I absolutely love the consistency and the texture of this and how this melts into my skin and how my skin feels after application. This is the INQUIRIES Exome Hydroglow Complex. Where exosomes are concerned, I think they mean peptides. However, if they'd marketed this as Peptide Hydroglow Complex, I think less people would be intrigued by it because we all know what peptides are, we all know what they do. Exosomes, the buzzword on the market, gets people more excited. Basically what you're getting here is a peptide complex, and a very, very beautiful one, but that is what it is. So this has prickly pear extract to gently resurface the skin, helping you get a smoother complexion. It also has 1% colaren in here to visibly improve the firmness in the skin. Just reading this to make sure I don't forget anything. 1% hyaluronic acid, we all know what that does, really hydrates and plumps the skin. 1% ectoin, one of my favorite ingredients, hydrates and supports the skin's moisture barrier, really looking after that barrier. And if you have an impaired skin barrier, you can't hold any moisture in, so ectoin, really, really important ingredient. And Q10. So Q10, great antioxidant for protection, as well as plant-derived exosomes, peptides. So that's all of them, the extra 9 products that I was desperate to share with you. I mean, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I had to get this out. I've really been enjoying using them over the last few weeks. They look luxurious. They feel luxurious. The texture, the consistency, the way they make my skin feel, just beautiful, seriously gorgeous, and they do not cost the earth. So definitely worth trying if you haven't tried any of these already. If you have tried them already and you have a different experience or the same experience as me, share your experiences with everybody in the comment section. Can I say the word experiences anymore? I don't think I can. If you feel like somebody else may find this video really helpful, give it a share, send it to them. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.